Hey guys, welcome back to the Art of Craftsmanship. My name's Dustin, and today in the shop, I'm going to be restoring this little genuine Plumb Scout hatchet. And I'm going to do this for my daughter, who's a Girl Scout. Now technically this is the Boy Scout logo, but it doesn't say Boy Scouts, it says be prepared, which I think is just an awesome mantra for anyone who's a Scout and people who love being in the woods like my daughter does. She spends a ton of time in the woods around here, as well as now she can actually walk to her friend's house through the woods. So I thought it'd be a really good time to make her own hatchet. Now this is something she's asked me about for a couple years. She's kind of wanted a little hatchet of her own, and then I found this one at a yard sale not too long ago for a couple bucks. I realized it's the perfect tool to make for her. Now with this one, this is not the original handle. It's only held in by a single metal wedge right now, so I'm going to remove the handle. I'll clean up the head, sharpen it up, and then I'm going to make a brand new Osage Orange handle from scratch. I just think it'll be really fun and look really beautiful. This is about 14 inches. I'm going to extend it out to 18 inches, so that way it's just a little bit longer, good size to be able to do a little bit of two-hand chopping, as well as still short enough to do one-hand chopping. Should be a perfect tool for her, a great thing to be able to use out in the woods, and a really awesome tool for a Girl Scout. The first thing I need to do is remove the head from the handle. Now with an old handle like this that's dry, I probably can actually hit the handle with the hammer and drive the handle down in, which will push it further into the eye and hopefully bring it a little proud of the eye of the hatchet. If that works well, which it should, then I should actually be able to get to that wedge a little easier. Whoop. A little too loose. Oh, it worked though. There you can see it really well, that it's pushed that down in, and now it's proud. We can get that wedge out pretty easy. There it goes. Go. This is pretty cool. I noticed that usually when you're hanging an axe head, or if you have one that's off of the handle, it's hard to tell if there's a difference between the top of the eye and the bottom of the eye. Now the top of the eye is supposed to be bigger because then you're creating a wedge inside that'll keep the handle on. This one you can really tell. I mean, this looks just visually so much bigger than the bottom, and then also if you look straight in, you can just tell the difference. You can really see how much bigger that top of the eye is from the bottom of the eye. I can't stress enough how much I really like using a wire wheel and WD-40 on old axe heads. It does a great job of just taking off that surface rust, cleaning it up, and leaving the beautiful patina of the age. You get this nice dark color on it. Then when you actually go and you grind off some areas like your pole and you do a sharpening, you get a nice shiny metal against that patina. It works really nice, and it turns out really beautiful. I'm going to clean this up now on the grinders. Sometimes I'll reprofile the bit if it needs it. This one's really clean and in really good condition. This profile is a Plumb National pattern profile, and it has the rounded toe in the heel. So I'm going to keep that the way it was. Also has a really nice chamfering on the back, which is all part of that original National pattern. I will clean up the pole, so I'll grind this off and just continue this little chamfer all the way around on the grinder. 64, 62. What? Lost them all.
right, that one is a worn out 60, and this one's a worn out 120. So pretty.
Get rid of some of this stuff. Something like this. This is kind of short. Work. That might be pretty good. I'm pulling out one of my bow staves that I've been seasoning down here. This one's kind of short, and this one was actually cut from a smaller diameter branch. So it's actually the best one. The rest of them are all nice and long and cut from bigger branches. So I'd feel worse about cutting down a nice long one to make a few axe handles when I can cut down a short one. And the way that the axe handles are oriented, they're actually cut this way. You're chopping, so there's plenty of material in here, and it's wide enough this way to be able to get a couple good axe handles out of this. 18 is here. It will go. There it is. 22. There. The total is 21. All right. Now that you can see the grain a little bit more clearly, you can see how this handle and head are going to be oriented together, where you want the grain to run the same way, parallel with the head of the axe. And so I'll be pulling material off of both sides of this to be able to get a nice handle out of the middle of this piece of wood. I love this handle. This is like my favorite shape handle of all the short handles I have. This is actually an axe that belongs to my wife. Oh yeah, that's perfect. This one's a little bit longer, I think. Yeah, this one's like 21, a little bit less than 21. So it'll be just shorter than this. But this just shows me that I do have plenty of heartwood there. I can kind of follow the pattern of this handle, which I love. And we'll just go a little bit shorter. Like this. Yeah. That's a good start. I trimmed off all the main bulk of the handle to get my general shape. So now I'm going to draw a center line down the middle so I'll know where the middle of the handle is so I can line up the middle of the head while I work on seating the head on here. I've also left this flat and squared off. I didn't shape it yet because I want to be able to clamp this into the vise really well while I'm hanging the head. Main tools that I usually use when I'm shaping the handle and the eye and all of it are draw knife to do the main work, and then either a 4-in-hand, so a double-ended rasp, and file, a round rasp, and then also my the Shinto rasp, which works really well. The majority of it will be done with the round rasp. I like this one because it's a half round on one side and flat on the other side. It does really beautiful concaves and convexes. I have a spot here that was a knot that's kind of rotted out. I'm hoping that the rot will end. It looks like the knot might go straight through. I don't think it'll make a big difference, but we'll see. I'm right about 17.5 inches to the top of the head. I did have to come down just a little bit more because of this knot in the rotted wood. It does go all the way through, but I was able to come down just below it, which will work fine. But before I go any further, I do want to chamfer the bottom of the eye just a little bit to get rid of this sharp edge. That way it'll seat down really nicely and wedge on all the way. I'm looking for a few things. I'm looking at any gaps in between the bottom of the eye and the handle, which these are all closed really nice. I'm also looking at the blade and making sure that it's straight in line with the center line that I've drawn, which it is. That's really clean too. Check it from both directions. And then also looking at the head to make sure that it's not hung closed, which is tipped down, or open, which is tipped up. And this is nice and perpendicular to the eye. So this looks really good. Ready to move on to shaping. I really like the thickness and the width of this handle, which is the one that I'm using as the template, and this is the one I made for my wife. Now my daughter has probably about the same size hands as my wife does right now, and this feels really nice. It feels a little bit bigger than a normal hatchet handle, but also still slim enough that it feels right. And this is about 7/8 of an inch all the way. So I think I'm just gonna go a smidge less, which actually right around here, we've got about 3/4 of an inch, which I think is just about right. So I'll mark that all along my center line, and then I'll grind down to that. finished up all the general shaping on the belts, on the grinder. I went all the way up to 220 with a J-flex, which is kind of nice because it kind of flexes inside of those curves. But I'm going to finish it up with hand sanding. There's still a few bumps here that I want to round out, so I'm going to go back to a 160 first, and then I'll move up to a 240. Let's see how Corinne feels it, how she likes it in her hand, though. Any like thinner and anywhere.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the color.
Yes, Osage Orange.
Nice.
Cool. Woo, baby, that's nice. All right, time to hang the head. I'm going to trim this eye, what's above the eye here on the handle off, because I had these knots here. So I'm going to trim this off somewhere like that. And then we'll cut the kerf in the top of the handle. Maybe cherry. I want to find black walnut. Let's see what we got over here. Yeah. Very dry. This is mahogany. 2.5 inches. That. I want to use the anvil to seat the wedge all the way in, so we're going to head outside to the smithy. You can see I marked the depth of my kerf on my wedge because I want to make sure the seat's in all the way. So if it goes all the way to that and if it's still moving, then I know that it's sitting all the way in the bottom of the kerf, and I don't want to hit it any further than that because I don't want to split the handle down below there. But that gives me a good reference to where it'll go. I most likely won't get all the way to that line. I did get a little more. I felt it go. Be careful though at this point. You don't want to hit the end of your handle too hard. And if you can avoid it, try not to crack the wedge. That's not a big a deal though. Oh, I think that's really good. Well, it's looking really nice. You get lots of nice, the top of the handles splitting out really wide, so you're getting a nice mechanical hold here, that mushrooming, which is really nice here. My line is about 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch shy of how deep it is, which is great. It just means that I have almost all that 2/3 of the way down the wedge inside there. Nice and tight on the bottom. That looks really nice. Yeah, that's great. And that wedge didn't want to go too much further, so I know that I seated it down pretty much as far as it could go. Nice, I'm happy. I'm going to mention again that I've left the bottom of the handle flat all the way into the end because this is where you want to have that nice flat surface to be able to hammer and hang the head on the handle when you get to the end like that. So now we'll mark this off and we'll cut the end of the handle. This is a 120 grit. Probably go up to 120, maybe right to 220, and then I'll finish up on the Scotch-Brite belt before I do the stropping belt. Now comes the best part of woodworking, and that's oiling up the handle. I'm using boiled linseed oil. I'll do a couple coats on this handle before we're completely finished. Don't want to let the oil that's on my gloves go to waste, so I just put a little oil on some of these axes that are in need of some love. All right, guys, well, I am super pleased with the way this turned out. This may be one of my best wedge jobs ever. It's beautiful. It fills everything up really nice. I'm super happy with it. And I love the shape of this handle. I think this is just going to be perfect for Corinne. I know she loves it. I know that she loves the color, and I think she'll really enjoy this. We will be making a leather sling for this, so it'll have a mask and a sling attachment so she can wear it and carry it on her back. So keep your eye out for that video, which will be coming up in the future. And I'll also be using this stave for some other things. It's a decent amount of wood here. I could probably make 2 more hatchet handles out of it, so it's definitely not going to go to waste. But I know that she'll like this. I'm excited to give it to her. I hope you guys liked this video. Make sure you don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, you can check us out on Patreon if you want to support us further. Also, check out our podcast. We do lots of fun interviews with makers, as well as hang out with Devin and I in the shop and just talk about things that we're doing and a little bit behind the scenes. So if you're interested in that, check out the Art of Craftsmanship podcast on the Makery Network. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.